Hello, everybody.
Hope you are doing well.
Yes, we're back. Wisdom Wednesday. Sorry for the little bit of late appointments. Sorry.
That's
all
okay.
on me.
That's okay. So
we're here because we are committed to being here. So.
Yes. So today we're actually talking about acceptable sources for down payment.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
So I broadcast last week. Very good.
Thank you.
I learned a few things.
Yes. All right.
Okay. Acceptable sources for down payments.
Yes. So we're going to actually cover acceptable sources for down payment, closing costs, and we'll keep it just to those two things.
Closing costs and
down payment.
Down payment meaning the money that bringing to the table. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. So any money that is needed for a purchase transaction.
Could that be earnest money?
So earnest money is another part.
Earnest money, the money that we bring to the table, which could be the closing costs combined with
your down
that
payment.
extra funds that need to be brought to the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So,
Go.
All right. So just jump in and ask questions as we go along.
Okay.
So the one thing that we know for sure that is not acceptable is cash.
You know,
Can I tell a story?
yes. I was at a closing one time, and sometimes when you're at a closing, the papers have all been signed, and then you have to wait for funding.
Yes.
And that's when agents and buyers and sellers and attorneys and everybody, we chit-chat, right? I don't chit-chat. Attorney did tell a story one time about somebody who came to closing with a suitcase full of
Cash. Okay.
Well, what does that make you think? He kind of took the guy outside with
Yeah.
That's, I mean, no,
Yeah.
never cash. It needs to be trackable funds, right?
Yeah.
Certified trackable funds.
Yeah.
Not, here you go.
No cash.
I won some money and I'm going to pay for it in cash.
Right. And this is assuming that we're going through a regular mortgage, right? Because if you're going to buy from a private seller, they'll probably take the cash.
Yeah. So we're not going to go to those anomalies that are just so unusual.
Yeah. So this is your regular, regular traditional transaction. You're getting financing from a lender to be able to buy.
Perfect.
So if you're getting a mortgage from a bank, you cannot use cash as your earnest money or your down payment or money at the table for cost.
Okay.
And the reason why is because the lender has to be certain that the money that's being used for the down payment and the closing costs is coming from our customer. And there's no way for us to verify if this is cash, right? Because
that makes 100% sense.
I'll give you an example. I had this recently. A customer of mine had, cashed his checks, didn't do direct deposit, cashed his checks, and keep money at home and spend money with
he
cash.
had like a little envelope of cash someplace?
So he had all the money saved at home, and we couldn't verify it. And nobody can understand, well, why? I mean, you clearly see that I do not deposit my checks. And so, yes, we understand that you don't deposit your checks, but we also don't know if you're going on vacation. So
you need, I think I like your word, inverifiable. You need kind of a paper trail that follows the funds.
Yes, we have to see the money. So
paper trail.
It has to be documented. So let's say, for example, you do have direct deposit and you do regularly do a withdrawal every month.
For cash?
For cash. Yeah,
okay.
So let's say every month you're taking $500 out. Okay. And then we can see that along several months of bank statements.
Okay.
Then we could potentially put a letter together in the file, let the underwriter know, okay, please see the last 6 months and the last $500 withdrawals every month. And this is the money that I have saved up as my cash. But see, this is a case-by-case scenario, and it gets tricky, and it's very challenging. So honestly, if you're looking to buy and you have cash saved at home, put it in the bank. Once it's in the bank for 60 days, we are okay because it's now seasoned in your account.
60 days seems to be a big indicator sometimes that we want to see 60 days of consistency in something. Yes. But again, I guess going back to if there is a special circumstance or we have a buyer or someone's thinking about buying where you feel like your circumstance may be specific and non-traditional, should pick up the phone and call.
Yes, always call.
Always
That's
call.
going to be your best bet, because if you're not sure, let's have a conversation and see what's going to work best for you.
Okay, because something may be out there
that
the norm may not show, but it could be allowable.
Yes.
So call.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so I want to add on to the cash. So sometimes customers will get a gift from family.
Oh, yes.
And a gift from family is acceptable to purchase. However, the gift cannot be cash.
So a box full of cash is not a good thing. Okay.
So if mom and dad or whoever it is going to gift the money, if they have cash saved at home, again, we cannot trace that it was from their home.
Okay.
So we have to make sure that the money coming from the relative that's gifting the money for your down payment is already in a bank account that we can source. So again, we have to follow the money.
Does those funds, does that need to season for a while in an account?
Not necessarily. So
it'd just be like, okay, here's my $5,000, $10,000 from my parents. We just deposited it yesterday, and I want to proceed. Or does it need a little bit more time?
So it depends on the program,
okay,
and whether or not we need to verify that bank statement. So sometimes they can actually just write a check, and we will verify that that check was cashed in our customer's account.
Okay.
And that's it. But other times we need to see their bank statement first, and then the cash check. Or maybe they're wiring the money to the closing table.
Or again,
so
case by case.
It's case by case, because it depends whether or not we have to see that donor's bank statement.
Gotcha. All right.
And that will vary on programs. So yes. Okay. So what else is acceptable? Okay. So we know cash is not, but anything that's in your checking, your savings, if you are liquidating money from, a retirement or money market, stocks and bonds, those are all acceptable sources.
Okay.
You can also get money as a grant if you're getting a grant from either an employer. An employer can give a grant as a gift.
Oh,
yeah, that's a new.
Hey,
that's another one. Yeah.
And talk to my employer.
So sometimes customers have
those
benefits. Yeah, that is you. So employer gifts okay, family member gifts okay, grants are acceptable. Again, it's got to come from an acceptable source for grants. Personal assets that are being sold, like let's say you have a car and you're selling a car and you can document that that car was yours with title and then a bill of sale and then the check from the buyer, that would be acceptable too.
Oh, okay.
So awesome. Those are some ideas of things that are acceptable.
Now, maybe I'm straying off a little bit too much on this, but if a buyer has to close on a home before they can buy, how does that all mix in with the definition of funds? Okay, so if someone owns a home and they're buying another property and they need the proceeds from the sale to purchase, we will need to see a copy of that closing statement for the sale of their home. Okay. So prove that yes, they did receive this X amount of money from the proceeds, and this is what we're going to use the down payment on our buy. Okay, and that's where we see, especially if you're doing a sell buy, we'd call it, that sale of the existing home that you live in that you need the funds from, obviously that is either taking place a few days before, a month before, or even a few hours before you're purchasing your new property. Yes. One of my recent closings, the attorney was the same. Sometimes that's nice to have the same attorney so they can monitor the entire double move. Yeah. But the attorney was at the first closing, walked into the second closing. By then we knew it was all closed. He had the check, handed it to the closer, and on we went to purchasing the new home. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. I love this. I learned some things today. Any other questions? Let's review it. Okay. Cash, not necessarily always acceptable, but there may be opportunities where it could work. If we can somehow document it. Documenting really good explanation. Yeah. It's much better to keep everything in the bank. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Definitely. So, and then we have got, let's go through again where our other sources are. They can be a grant. Yes. Can be a gift. Yes. Can be, help me out. Sale of a personal asset. Sale of a personal asset. Sale of another home. Those are the only ones that we talked about today. There are other sources. But those are the most common ones. Those are the most common. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I love it. I learned some things today. I hope you did too. Yeah, and if you have questions about what is acceptable, what is not, definitely feel free to reach out. My number is 773-858-4102. And the Spousal Selling House team number, 224-650-7748. And I mean, if they're thinking of buying, if you're thinking of buying or selling or even investing, it's a great time. There's properties that, well, our big saying right now, and I think it's really, really true, 2 types of properties on the market right now. Okay. Do you know what they are? What are they? Overpriced and under contract. Nice. We need to find those ones right in the middle or make available those ones right in the middle that are perfect pricing, great condition, great location, meet all the needs, and let's get you into the next property. Yeah. Awesome. Sounds good. Guys, everybody have a wonderful, safe holiday weekend. Yes. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you all next week. All right. Bye, everybody.